Welcome to Progressive Retail. I'm your host, Cory Mosley. Today, we continue our discussion on the 7 circles of internet sales success by discussing the training circle. Let's get started. As the old saying goes, training isn't something you did, it's something you do. Now, I receive emails all the time from internet sales professionals looking for ways to get better, to produce more, to get tips on dealing with managers who don't understand the internet consumer, and I wanted to share a recent email that I received. Dear Mr. Mosley, my name is, I'll leave that off, and I'm an internet sales specialist at, I'll leave that off too. I attended your recent webinar and try to watch your show every week. I've been in the business about a year now and try to consume all the information that is out there so I can get better. I'm a bit frustrated because whenever the opportunity to attend a workshop or conference comes up that costs money, I can't seem to ever get the dealership to invest in allowing me to get the training. I've been selling 8 to 10 cars a month without any formal training. I have thought about paying for myself, but then I ask myself, how do I feel working for a dealership every day that isn't willing to invest anything in training me to be a better salesperson? So I'm going to stop it right there as he goes on to share some additional things. But the important part here is this sales professional desperate for training, a desperate desire to do better, yet an organization, at least from his point of view, not interested in making that happen. I meet dealers all the time and time again, that want to be selling more cars, but resist investing in training. I remember a dealer becoming very upset because I wouldn't come spend the day at his store for free on the basis that we might do some business in the future. I wish I had my don't be ridiculous buzzer right now because I certainly would hit it. Now let's look at 4 types of training situations. Number 1, introductory training. This type of training should set the total view of what the goals are and the end results will be, and also introduce the basics. What are the key pillars that make up the mission, the process, and the execution? The saying is, get people on the same page. Too much training, in my opinion, is simply just do this without taking the time to make sure everyone understands the why. Number 2, tactical training. Now this is where the rubber meets the road. This is where word tracks and rebuttals and CRM actions, procedures, and core day-to-day, minute-to-minute processes come in that determine success or failure. Number 3, reinforcement and retention training. A small percentage of people get something simply when they hear it for the first time. So this is the part of the ongoing training process where we correct, coach, and work with our teams in an organized and consistent way. Finally, number 4, innovation training. This is where many dealerships fall short, especially the ones who say they train every day or, Cory, we constantly train. See, the typical problem here is that they simply double and triple down on number 3, meaning they have been reinforcing the same things for decades, never taking the time to learn anything new. A comprehensive training program must call for the adoption of new ideas, strategies, and approaches. Finally today, I would be remiss if I didn't bring up the topic of ego and arrogance, especially when it comes to training. I'm always taken aback when I encounter people in a leadership or training role that carry the air that there is nothing that they can be taught, no new information, no new strategy, as if the needs, wants, and tastes of consumers are the same as they were in the 80s, 90s, or the generational differences we see today. Les Brown, one of the greatest motivational speakers alive today, once told the story of a time that he and Jim Rohn, one of the self-help movement's greatest educators, were speaking at an event together. Les says as he was getting ready to go on stage, he observed Jim Rohn take out a pen and a notebook, and he said to him, "What are you doing?" He said, "I'm going to take some notes from your presentation." Les said, "Why? It's your stuff anyways." See, it was a humorous moment for them, but it illustrates the key point. No matter the education, experience, or title, we all have an opportunity to learn, and those who are in a position to teach must also remain committed to being a great student. And that simply is the way I see it. Question: have you checked out the all-new MosleyAutomotive.com website? We have a host of resources including webinars and do-it-yourself downloads to help you start selling more cars online today. So visit mosleyautomotive.com. Also, if you have an industry colleague that can benefit from this message, please share this video with them. This has been another episode of Progressive Retail with Cory Mosley, exclusively on the CBT Automotive Network. I'll see you next week.